All right, here we go. Oh man, this is so weird. Okay, cool. I actually did it. Bought a mic. This is the first episode of my podcast, which I don't have a name for yet, so I don't even know if I'll have a name for it by the time this comes out. This podcast, I might as well bring up the first sponsor. This podcast is sponsored by Boba Fett shooting Jar Jar Binks in the face. They reached out to us beforehand and just wanted to show it the entire episode, so that's what we get here. Yeah, welcome. If you know me, you've probably known I've been going to start this for some time now. Just gonna fix this light. And I wanted to do it when it was appropriate and when I could do it the way I wanted. So I have a decent mic, so I sound half decent. And I've got some lights, some like cheap lights from Walmart. They have those like cringy TikToker influencer like LED lights. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna buy those. So I guess that makes me cringy, as well as my posture. Damn. But yeah. So as far as today goes, it's more of an introduction episode, I guess. Kind of flesh this out, figure out how to edit because I'm still kind of new to that shit. Oh my god, my cat's gonna knock this over. Bella! Hey! She's fucking playing with her tail. Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm gonna adjust this. Okay. Anyway, so first topic on the agenda today. Hello, my name is Nick Byerly. Full name, Nicholas Trevor Byerly, born August 23rd. I am a Virgo. I don't know what that means because I don't really follow that stuff. So tell me in the comments what the hell that means. I like shoes. What is this? Oh, yeah, it's my tattoo. That's my Jordan tattoo. And then, man, I have to remember not to keep like dead air because dead air is what like makes people not want to listen to this shit. So I have to keep talking constantly. It's only been 2.5 minutes. Shouts out to my hat as well. I feel like what's his face? From not The Cure. No, oh my god. I'm so stupid. Anyway. My name's Nick. I am an up-and-coming designer based out of, oh my god, I was almost going to say Vancouver, based out of Abbotsford, British Columbia, Canada. This podcast is going to kind of cover all of my designs, kind of update you on what I'm working on, what I'm doing, and then kind of also just like general topics. So I want to, go over music, art, movies, other fashion, shoes, a lot of stuff about shoes, a lot of opinions about shoes, just a lot of opinion shit in general because I just always have a lot to talk about. So that's also not surprising if you know me again. So this is kind of just makes the most sense to do this. And I'm hoping I'll have, once it's appropriate due to COVID, I'm hoping that I'll have more guests on that will come on and we can just talk about stuff. I have a couch, so people can come and talk to me on the couch. So that'll be fun. Anyway, let's get right into it. So, in the last few weeks, I have been setting up this small room here to kind of allow myself to make stuff. I have started making kind of like one-off pieces. First of all, I have a clothing label called Yellow Apparel. I guess that's a great place to start is where that comes from. So back in 2014, when I had my Michael Jordan birthday, when I turned 23, yeah, I went to a fashion school in Vancouver, and kind of like post-secondary. It was a fashion business and creative arts program. It was 2-year course. Oh, it was 2 years worth of school condensed into 10 months. from March until, so whatever that is, March until, no, sorry, May until March, I think, end of March. So what really got me into that was I had no real forward um, knowledge on clothing or fashion in general. Well, I did, but I didn't really know that that was something I wanted to, uh, pursue. At the time, I was just working a retail job, and someone I worked with pointed it out to me. They're like, "Oh, well, I went to this school, and it was a lot of fun. I had no idea until I went." And through my life, I've always just kind of had this kind of unique perspective on clothing. I just like to wear what I like to wear, and um, kind of just go from there. It's never really been a concern to me about trying to fit in, which kind of sounds lame, but that's the truth. So from there, I reached out to the school, and it just kind of made sense. I liked the vibe of the place at the time, the people. And so, anyway, cut through that. I actually finished the program at the top of my class, which was really awkward to talk about because it like sounds like I'm trying to gas myself, but um, I was just really surprised because I put my all into it and seeing that I was actually good at something. Because prior to that, I wasn't really good at anything. Like I wasn't good at anything. Um, it was just kind of a nice experience to see that I was actually kind of on the right path for once. And that was at 23. And I mean, most people pick up these things, I feel like maybe earlier or some, I guess, even later on. But I guess that kind of shows you why it's okay. You just go when you're ready. And that was it for me. It was when I was ready. Anyway, after that, though, I kind of moved back to my small town and didn't really figure anything out as far as clothing goes. But I had the original concept for Yellow back before, no, back when I was in school. So originally, Yellow Apparel was called Original Yellow. And the funny thing about that is that just came from, okay, you know, the video game Rock Band. It had like random band name generators, and that was the name it just randomly generated, Original Yellow. And it, for some reason, just clicked with me on so many levels, just in terms of like meaning and tone. And I was like, I don't know how old I was back then, like 16 or 17. So by the time that I had decided on this name, it kind of just was always in the back of my head because I don't like the way it sounded. So I made some concepts that were okay in school, you know, just like logos and stuff like that. But then I shifted it to Yellow Apparel later on. And with the way I'm looking at it now is basically I looked at it as what was I missing in my own personal wardrobe and how could I get those things that I was missing and plug them in. So I just went and found the things that I wanted to. So it's like this, which is inspired by, yeah, like Yellow Apparel is inspired by my childhood, my upbringing, my life in general. So each piece has a story to tell. I really have importance on storytelling with my stuff. That's the primary thing with Yellow, is that each piece tells a story. It's dependent on the background, but yeah, pretty much everything has a story to it, and I actually enjoy talking about it. I think that's kind of like a weird topic in fashion because a lot of brands like to ride the mystique of certain meaning or background to certain pieces or collabs or what things mean, and it definitely adds to the hype around the product and the marketing and things like that. But I'm just the type of person, like I said before, that likes to talk. So I like talking about the background of my stuff and what it means to me and maybe what it means to other people. So yeah, that's kind of what I look at when I have to try to explain Yellow. Um, yeah, a lot of this stuff started with my early adolescence being brought up in like skateboarding. So like 1999 was the year I picked up a skateboard, 2000. And then it was around 2001 where when me and my family moved to Abbotsford from North Vancouver, um, I kind of met and like made friends with the local homies on the road, and they kind of took me in, and that's where my love for skateboarding kind of took over, because these guys were just all walks of life, you know, like this dude, couple older kids, so that was like, oh sick, I'm hanging with the cool like older kids, and yeah, they just brought me in, and like from there on, I learned how to ollie, you get your shit down, kick flips, and all your flip tricks, you know, learning how to ride on flat and just getting all your tricks down. And one of the kids had a kicker, so we were able to like ride on that kid's like box and learn how to like 50-50, like really shitty, and uh, like just do all that kind of fun stuff, like ollie on the mani pad, and then like try to like nose mani, revert out, and like all that kind of fun shit. So that was what I like grew up with. So I try to take the energy I had then, that fun and the eagerness to learn, and just like also just be like have like to have fun and to include as many people as possible. I just think that's so important and kind of missing, because fashion is primarily exclusive. It's not really inclusive, um, and in like the worst ways too. Whether it's like body shaming or like racial uh, uh, racism. Oh shit. Um, I just can't stand it, and I won't stand it. I won't accept that bullshit. So when it comes to Yellow Apparel, that is about all inclusiveness, making sure that everyone can wear it and everyone feels good wearing it. No one is above anyone. Um, Whether that's your grandma wanting to wear something, or your sister, or your brother, or whoever, your dad, like it's literally meant for everyone. And I hope that kind of is portrayed in this stuff. Oh shit. So yeah, that is kind of like my awkward explanation to Yellow Apparel. Yeah, it's like a weird thing to talk about. I'm happy I am. It feels kind of cathartic, like I'm getting it out of my system. But there's still a lot to do. Right now, I'm still kind of learning, still trying to figure out where I'm going with it. Obviously, I'd like to start to like move Yellow into stores and actually see it sold in wherever I can. So I have to kind of figure out marketing and how that works, because I'm still learning on the business side of it. Like I had a ton of that in school, but after that, there wasn't a whole lot outside of just the jobs that I worked after that. So that's a whole lot of fun. But yeah, so check out my shit. Oh, I guess I could promote my own fucking website. Yellowapparel.shop. I'll put a link here. Yellowapparel.shop is the website where I post all my stuff. I just posted my sweatpants, which is really dope. Getting good reception on those, like the royal blue, forest green, with the side like classic logo. Ooh, it's so flames. I wanted to make like an open, like no cinch at the bottom there, just so that you could kind of wear them however you wanted. So you could wear them baggy. You could actually roll them up. They actually roll really well. So they stack really, really well. So just, yeah, or cut them, whatever the fuck you want to do. So they're yours for the taking. Yellowapparel.shop. Hit that shit. Anyway, let's move on to other shit. What else can we talk about? So, what day is today? April 11th, Sunday, the day of our Lord. Yeah, there's really not a whole lot going on. I think primarily people are still wondering about what's going on with COVID. In case no one knows what's going on, there's kind of this little that's going on. I think we are probably close to an announcement from Mrs. Dr. Bonnie Henry. Or is it? No, that sounded condescending. Dr. Bonnie Henry. I wasn't trying to be all like, yeah. To say that we were going to go back into lockdown, I think that makes the most sense. I mean, at what point are we going to just admit shit's still fucked up? I mean, we're getting record-breaking days of people getting it, people arguing that less people are dying, but that's beside the point. This isn't going to be a podcast where I have to sun everyone who wants to still try to argue points about this fucking virus. It's pointless. So, yeah. Interesting. People seem to think it's over. It isn't. And while we still wait for people to get the vaccine, we still have to do our due diligence in making sure that we stay inside or not stay inside, but just stay away from everyone and make sure that we stay appropriately distanced. Social distancing is important. Wouldn't you say, Jar Jar Binks?
Yeah, motherfucker, stay inside, bitch. What do you think y'all doing? Stay in, motherfucker.
But it's not like just because I'm ready for it to be over doesn't mean that it is over. I can't believe that we have to explain that to full-grown adults. Like, it's kind of baffling at this point. This whole thing where we want to give people the benefit of the doubt, but you just can't anymore. These people, it's not that they don't, it's not that they don't know. They do know. It's that they don't care. And that's the perspective change, you know? These people knowingly don't care. So how much energy are you going to put into that? Just protect yourself and your loved ones. That's all you can do. Anyway, outside of that negative bullshit, we're just going to slide that over. Some cool shit happening in the last few weeks. I think everyone's really excited for the weather change. I know I fucking am. It's helped my serotonin levels so much just waking up and seeing it be sunny out. Having the sunnier, earlier mornings is always nice because I am a morning person. I don't know about y'all, but I definitely am. Oh yeah, I got a photo backdrop so I can finally start taking like professional looking photos. So I'm excited about that. There will be cat photo shoots, don't worry. I mean, y'all know about my cats already, see it all over my social media. I like social media. Shouts out if you know what that reference is from. And it's dope. Okay, but I kind of fucked up though because I ordered it on Amazon. It was like, oh yeah, backdrop for photo shoots, and it had the photo was like the stand and the poles and all that shit. And then when I got it, it was just it was just the sheet. So I was like, okay. So I just stapled it to the wall. It was super cheap. So I guess that should have been my tip off. But there you go. I have some ideas that I'm going to be trying to do in the next couple weeks, mostly for like ads and stuff like that. I want to try to bomb some hills on my skateboard and get it filmed, whether I make it or if I fucking fall. I think that would just be kind of rad to watch either way. I can try and get it in like slow motion or something to some rad music. I don't know what I'd put on it yet, but I think I have an idea. And then I just want to go skate more. I feel like I haven't skateboarded in fucking forever, and that honestly sucks. So that's definitely needed. I think this summer I want to try to get back on my shit as far as like I've been skating how long now? What did I say? Almost 22 years, and I still can't land a 360 flip, so that's kind of unacceptable. So I want to try and land 3 flips. I'll never be able to land hard flips. I mean, I'm like 6'1" if I'm wearing like shoes. And I still feel like I don't have enough clearance to be able to do hard flips properly, so that'll probably never happen. But 3 flips definitely, and I would like to be able to get over some of my pussy shit and just like get better at like rails again, being able to like get over my like nervousness when it comes to that, because that shit is so nerve-wracking. Like I really can't stress enough how impressive it is to actually be someone who skateboards for a living, because you're constantly having to push your threshold of what you're comfortable with. You have to every single day be uncomfortable and have that feeling in your stomach where you're like, oh, I hate this. And that to me is like unbelievable. So professional skateboarders, or I guess just like professional athletes in general, like that's a level of anxiety on its own. And trust me, I know 1 or 2 things about anxiety. I feel like that like one TikTok kid, like Wiley Squares, when he like talks really weird and says really fucked up shit. If you don't get the reference, that's not gonna make sense at all, but whatever. Anyway, where are we at? Like, oh yeah, we're almost at like 20 minutes. That's dope. This is my face I make when I try to read. Anyway, what else can we talk about? Is there any like music stuff? Oh yeah, so we got notification. Well, my friends got notification that the Tame Impala concert at the Gorge Amphitheater. Okay, how many times am I gonna do that? Was postponed another month into September. So that leads me to believe that it'll probably be more than likely that it'll still be on, but that doesn't really say anything about the Tame show at Rogers Arena, which was like 3 or 4 days before it, which is the one that I have tickets to. So I don't know. Is it going to be a case where like anyone can still go? Do you think maybe they'll just, instead of just doing like one show, they'll do multiple shows with just less people? So instead of like a crowded show, it'll just be like 3 shows at 30%, because 3 times 3 or whatever, 33%. I don't know. It's interesting. I guess we still have to wait in here, or they're going to do only people who are fully vaccinated, which I think is kind of bullshit. Because if the concert's in August, that means I would need to get my vaccine now to be able to wait the 4 weeks or whatever it is, or no, 16 weeks. Fuck. So I don't know how that's going to work. Either way, I'll be super bummed because it's already been like 2 years, or it'll be 2 years come August. So since we bought the tickets. What else? Not a whole lot. Oh yeah, well I guess there was some sad news music wise that DMX passed away. In such a unbelievably like frustrating way too. Mostly not because of him, but well, yes, because of him, because it was a heart attack due to a overdose, which is so sad because he's been obviously fighting his addiction for. I've seen people say like what 12 years. I don't know the actual date, so don't quote me on it. But it's unbelievably sad to see someone who's so influential, someone who alongside Jay-Z, who for I'm sure a lot of younger audience doesn't know, like DMX and Jay-Z basically saved Def Jam, and DMX needs to be recognized for that. One of the most influential rappers of all time, again, needs to get recognized for that. It's a damn shame that he didn't get his roses while he was still alive. I've always mentioned that DMX was dope. Not to gas myself again, I'm not trying to be like that fucking annoying ass bitch, but DMX was the shit, and it's so sad to see him go. Rest in peace. So sad. And also, can we just, this is something that like I was kind of obsessed with, just the names of some of his albums. It's Dark and Hell is Hot. Like fuck, that's so sick. And then Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood. Classic. Classic albums too. Also Rough Riders Anthem. Like everything's so sick. DMX was dope. Rest in peace. What else? What else can we move on to? Oh yeah, I saw Godzilla vs. King Kong. That movie was thankfully much better than fucking what was the one before? King of the Monsters. I still enjoyed that, although I almost got into a fight with an old grandpa because I accidentally leaned on the seat of his wife who was in front of us by accident because I was just trying to get up. Anyway, that's a whole other story for a whole other podcast. You know what I'm saying? So I liked it. I just like the fact that you could see King Ghidorah. King Ghidorah, take me to your leader. Okay, King Ghidorah or King Ghidorah? Let me know in the comments. And Rodan and shit. But Rodan was kind of a bitch in King of the Monsters. But yeah, Godzilla vs. King Kong. It was honestly impressive because the entire time I assumed that we were going to have the classic like this versus this trope, like in Batman vs Superman, where you just assume like, okay, both of them are going to fight, and then there's going to be a third thing that comes and unites those two, so they stop fighting to fight that thing, and then there's no real, well, I guess resolution to the first fight. And then that did kind of happen. Spoilers. Okay, spoiler alert for Godzilla vs King Kong. I don't give a shit. Skip ahead. They actually do that, but they do have a resolution to the fight though, which I think is kind of dope. So when you watch the movie, you'll note that Godzilla wins. He, well, you'll see the movie, but yeah, basically he like gets Kong on his fucking ass, and he's like, "Okay, bitch, I win." He screams in his face. And I actually saw a really fun on Twitter where they're like, okay, the sexual tension between those two. It's kind of true. But yeah, so Godzilla wins, and then they fight Mechagodzilla, which was really dope too. Um, but I don't think we're going to get any more of those movies because I think the MonsterVerse or whatever that legendary Warner Brothers was calling it is done now because Toho only signed with them, I think, until 2022 or whatever. So this was the last movie. And on their Twitter, they posted like a thank you to the fans, blah, blah, blah. So it kind of seems like it's done. But yeah, that was a cool last movie. I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's not Citizen Kane, but I think that's kind of a topic of conversation lately anyway, of people being like, well, you can't just say every movie's fun and then let them get away with inconsistencies. Like, no, it's a fucking movie about a giant monkey and a giant lizard fighting. Like, you're an adult, set your expectations. And if you are going in with this like weird expectation that everything needs to be like realistically accurate to the real world, like fuck off. That's so annoying. I could understand maybe some things, but again, grow up. Anyway, also I'm seeing rumors now for the Flash movie. Okay, so I love Batman. Next to shoes, Batman is one of my all-time favorite things. Just everything in general. That's my other tattoo. Wrap me out. Can you see it? I can't know. Yeah. And the rumor now is okay. So originally, Ben Affleck was going to do the Batman movie. Then Matt Reeves signed on to direct it, who just recently did the last Planet of the Apes movies. And then after he signed on to direct it with Ben Affleck co-writing, then it came out that Matt Reeves was just doing his own, or sorry, that he was just not taking Ben Affleck's script and making his own script. And then after that, Ben Affleck was like, okay, peace, I'm not doing Batman anymore. So it was like, what? And then we all know Robert Pattinson's coming back, or is now Batman in the Matt Reeves solo Batman movie. And then they announced the Flash movie just, well, a little while back, but now we know the Flash movie is Flashpoint, which for those not so inclined, in the comics, Flashpoint was basically a reset. It started a whole new branch of timelines. There was, correct me again if I'm wrong, but like it started the New 52, which was kind of panned by critics and fans, which was supposed to be like a new start of the 52 comics that DC sold, or the 52 universes. So Batman or Detective Comics, my ass, my butt. Flashpoint for the movies is supposed to kind of be this like timeline reset. So anyway, originally it was supposed to be Michael Keaton was coming back as Batman in this movie, and Ben Affleck was supposed to be in it. And then Michael Keaton was supposed to take over because I guess Ben Affleck was done, right? So now it's supposed to be, apparently Michael Keaton is saying that he doesn't want to fly to the United Kingdom to do the movie because of COVID concerns or something like that, which I can understand. But now they're saying that he's going to be replaced by Christian Bale, which I doubt. I severely fucking doubt. So again, this whole movie sounds like a fever dream to me specifically. Like this is like 9-year-old Nick Byerly's fucking wet dream to have Michael Keaton come back, Ezra Miller as the Flash, who's amazing in Justice League. By the way, the Snyder Cut. Let's talk about the Snyder Cut. Okay, I got time. Where are we at? 28 minutes? Yeah, this is my podcast, bitch. We're talking about whatever the fuck I want. Okay, so the Snyder Cut. What an amazing movie. I am not even gonna try to sound like I'm not gonna try to like be calm about this or trying to be like, yo, it was great, blah, blah. Like, no, that was a great ass movie, and more people need to recognize that shit. Zack Snyder was fucked around during development of that movie, during production. His daughter, his family had a tragic event, so he had to leave production. But even beforehand, that movie was being fucked with by Warner Brothers. And then they decided to hire on that fucking loser, Joss Whedon, to finish the movie. And he basically, I feel like he butchered that movie on purpose. Like, how could you not think that after if you've watched both, if you watched his version and then the Snyder version, the Snyder cut, which can we just call it the director's cut? Doesn't that make more sense? It's the director's cut. The director is Zack Snyder. It's like baffling at not only what Warner Brothers released, but what they cut from Zack Snyder that he had already filmed. The movie is so good. Right away at the beginning of the movie, you have an explanation for Steppenwolf coming back, the mother boxes going off, all that. you get an explanation right away. Versus in the Whedon cut, Batman fights a fucking parademon on a building while he fights the dude from Mindhunters. Like, what the fuck? So it makes way more sense. The movie is so long. It's 4 hours, but it only goes to show that I feel like, in terms of Zack Snyder's vision for this movie, that he had a full idea of what he wanted. You had a full background for Cyborg. Cyborg was actually interesting and had something to do in this movie. It sucks that Ray Fisher is being treated so shitty by Warner Brothers. More and more keeps coming out about all the bullshit that happened on set, that he mentioned, that Warner Brothers keeps denying, and more keeps coming out, and more people keep coming out and validating it. So it's kind of a weird scenario. They canceled his movie too, so that sucks. Because he was awesome in this movie, and his dad, in terms of how his dad's role in the movie changed, also, like I was just mentioning, for all those people who are like, oh well, that doesn't make sense, his dad's role actually helped the storyline make sense and progress the story too. So in terms of plot, pacing, I mean, you can argue pacing was way slower, but a lot of parts were fleshed out and felt better. Like the whole part on what's the Amazonian's place called? Themyscira. I don't fucking know. But that whole chase scene with Steppenwolf was so good. That is one of the best parts of the movie. And I would say, in terms of the best part of the movie, I think more and more people are agreeing that it's the slow-mo scene with the Flash. That was just like an unreal moment. That was just an example of really good cinematography and music combination. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, fuck, watch that movie. I mean, if you have Crave TV in Canada or HBO Max in the States, watch that shit. It's so good. I mean, why not? It's Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman and fucking Aquaman. Yeah, Jason Momoa was so much better in that movie. Also, Amber Heard got fired. Suck a dick. Seriously, she's so terrible. I'm so glad that Warner Brothers at least did the right thing there and got rid of her, because she sounds like a psycho, and not like a hot psycho. Well, she's super hot, let's be honest, but not like a good psycho, like a bad psycho. Anyway, yeah, it's also weird that Warner Brothers said that the Snyderverse is not canon to the DCEU, because, like, okay, so that's dumb. Because, oh, let me talk about the best part that they added. Darkseid. Darkseid was awesome in this movie, and as a ominous threat in the background, I think it was perfect. It really is kind of disappointing that we're not going to get a follow up to that film, because it would have been really cool. Oh yeah, like Superman in his black suit. Oh, that shit is so fucking dope. It's so frustrating. Even like Batman at the end of the movie kind of served a purpose, so that was kind of nice. Like, I think in the last movie he just didn't really do anything, but then in that scene where he's like driving in the Batmobile and he's like, "They're coming for me," that was dope. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Oh, let's talk about the epilogue though, with Jared Leto as the Joker. That was so unneeded. Like, what a terrible addition to the film. I like don't understand it. It was so weird. In terms of weirdness, it was hilarious. It was fun to watch because it was just so absurd. Like, what the fuck am I looking at? Like, Deathstroke has a giant ass faux hawk. Why? Like, I know he's had it in the comics before. It's just a different look. But like, what's the explanation? Just because they're in a post-apocalypse, someone's got to have a mohawk. It's like a Mad Max like general rule, I guess. And then just like all the other shit, like you see the Flash in the background, but I don't even think that was Ezra Miller. I think they just like mapped his face onto some random guy. But anyway, very strange. But I did like the design of Jared Leto's Joker this time, though. He was, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but he was wearing a Gotham City Police Department bulletproof vest, and I think he had all the badges of the cops he killed. So I was like, whoa, shit! Like, that's just like interesting costume design. Anyway, I liked it. So that's my little short 5-minute rant on Justice League. Give it a chance, because it was very clear that it was everyone else's fault this time as to why that movie blew. I mean, you have the biggest names in superhero: Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. Like, they're the biggest names. Like, you cannot. I mean, nowadays it's more comparable, but back then, like there was no comparing like fucking Iron Man to Batman. Like who the fuck's Iron Man? So it's just kind of like, how are you fucking this up? I should be writing a Batman movie. That's what I've decided. So hopefully I'll be able to do that soon. Anyway, I'm trying to think of anything else. I'm sure there's plenty to talk about. I haven't really touched on sports, but I feel like I need the homies around to do the sports stuff. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I'll just cut it off now. It's 35 minutes. It's a little more sufferable. Insufferable? I'm insufferable. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm saying that it's a little more tolerable, I guess. I'm a little more tolerable. Holy shit. Okay, yeah, that's the sound I need to go. Okay, thanks everyone for listening. Bye-bye.